So today I'm doing a video on the what I guess you could call it the secret to void opal mining. I'm sure you guys, for all you void opal miners out there, I'm sure you guys have came across plenty of times where you went to crack open a void opal asteroid and you accidentally set a high yield charge in a medium in an average strength fissure, and it threw it in the red, and then it was the last fissure to where you either had to disarm it and let it just not crack open, or sacrifice two-thirds of the resources. Well, not anymore, guys. I'm going to teach you once I'm done my collection, Olympics are done collecting all this these beautiful void opals. I will teach you guys my method to where you're not messing up every time. Well, maybe not every time, but to where you're not having the situation where you're having to sacrifice resources. And I've found that this works on like 90% of the pretty much every void opal asteroid you're going to come across. This method is going to work, and I will show you as soon as I find another one. I just have to finish up here, which shouldn't take very much longer. I have 2, 4, 6 chunks and 4 surface deposits to blow loose, so like 10 resource chunks minimum.
Collector limpet expired.
I hate when that happens. And another thing, guys, that I've kind of found is the Python is great for this, guys. I mean, it's got great cargo. It's got great, like, decent jump distance. I mean, honestly, if you don't want to spend 50 mil for a mining ship, go with the Crate Mark II. It's significantly cheaper and it works just as well. Believe it or not, the Crate Mark II is actually what I started with, was the Crate Mark II. Believe it or not, guys, the Crate Mark II is what I started with. And now, I mean, guys, now I'm sitting in a Python. I have a fully A-graded Anaconda, and I have a fully A-graded and partially engineered Chieftain. I mean, yeah, I'm doing decent, guys. I mean, I'll be honest, though, I mean, I haven't really focused on getting any of my engineers, but, well, I have a little bit. I mean, I suppose I've focused on it a little bit. I mean, I'll show you guys. So go over here, go to my engineers tab. And also, guys, void opal mining, if you guys are just starting off, then you need help getting like a decent engineering ship, just ask me, man. I mean, there'll be times where if I have plenty enough money, I'll go out and mine like 105 tons of void opals for you, and we'll get you into, I'll keep them in my cargo hold, we'll get you into a decent jump ship, and we'll go get you a decent, once you get a decent jump ship, we'll go to wherever I sell, best sell place, because you're where you're at. So I'm assuming if you have Horizons, it's probably Acellus Primus is probably gonna be where you're based at. Is where you're gonna be starting off at. Which reminds me, today also in this video, guys, for if any of you guys out there are watching and you guys are playing Elite Dangerous, just, hey, hit me up with a comment and say, hey man, I'm in this system, can you come help me make money? And gladly, man. Dude, I love helping people, like new people, make money. I love it, dude. Like, Because believe me, guys, this is like a lot of your squadron leaders out there are going to be like, oh, well, we can't help you make money, blah, blah, blah. We've got our own things to do. And it's just, I mean, honestly, what they forget is that they were, at one point in time, they were in your shoes. Like, they didn't have jack squat to their name. And so, guys, I'm always willing to help make people make money. Always willing to help, guys.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Just gotta ask, man. I mean, my PSN is GrimFable23. Look me up. If you want to make lots of money, as you can tell, I'm gonna be starting to get some pretty good trade missions. Oh, wrong channel. After I'm done Void Opal mining today, I'm gonna be elite in trades. So, and that's another thing, guys, is if you guys want to get elite in trade like super quick, but you don't want to have to do a shit ton of trade missions, and you want to make a bunch of money while you're doing it, then I definitely suggest Void Opal mining, man. This roughly, okay, so to give you an idea, so far I've, in three asteroids, I've netted 43 tons of Void Opals. And that's because, as you'll see when I crack this next one, when I find the next one, I crack it open, you'll see why I get that much in threes, because I get the yield range into the optimal yield range. And that's what you want, guys. You want to get it into the optimal yield range. Now, you always want to try to make sure, do your best, guys, not to run into your collection limits. It's something that they honestly need to fix in this game, because I can't tell you, guys, how many times I have ran into my damn collection limpets because they're underneath my ship, then all of a sudden, for some random ass reason, I run into them. And I have no clue why, guys, but that's just what happens. And I mean, it sucks, because then you're sitting there saying, well, fuck, now I have to put out 2 more collection limpets, and that's 2 less collection limpets you can use to scan asteroids. So, what I've discovered is you want to look for, like, the popcorn kernel shaped ones. The asteroids that are like almost like a popcorn kernel. Well, not a kernel, but almost like a piece of popcorn. That's kind of the shape you guys want to be looking for. And also, see how some of these are like popping up orangish yellow. If they're orangish yellow, guys, to be honest, don't bother scanning them, because 90% of the time they may be a core asteroid, but a lot of times, unless they're bright yellow, like see how that one is kind of bright yellow from a distance, those are the kind of ones you want to potentially, that one might be one, but judging by the shape of it, I don't think so, but we'll check it. Let's go check it out, shall we? Anyways, yeah, so you want to look for like the bright yellow ones. You'll be able to tell how much bright yellow there. Now, I don't think Frontier realizes this, but see how closer I'm getting? It's kind of, when it first does the scan, it's kind of got that black through it. Those are the kind of ones you want to try to spot. And I suggest, a lot of people say, oh, well, you don't need an A-grade pulse wave analyzer, but I suggest getting one, guys, just because A-grade pulse wave analyzer gets you like 24,000 megameter range. You see how far out mine's jumping. See, yeah, sometimes, that's another thing, guys, sometimes you'll find core asteroids like that, and they'll be like Alexandrite, Bromolite, or I'm trying to think the other one. They'll be one of the other core asteroids. There's been times where I've ran into low temperature diamond void opals. Now, or not void opals, low temperature diamond at core asteroids, which you don't run into very often, but honestly, guys, a lot of times now, if you're in an area that, if you're worried about pirates attacking you while you're mining, then what I suggest you do, this is what I used to do when I was in Cisco, where there was always the risk that in the middle of mining, in the middle of my haul, a pirate could come scan me and demand 13 tons of cargo. Now this is where those Alexandrite and Bromolite and shit like that, those kind of asteroids come in. Now it may sound weird, why waste ammo on cracking one of those open and mining it? This is why, because then when they get about 15 tons of it, so they'll never ask for more than 13 tons. They're NPCs. They'll never ask for more than 13 tons. Now, this is where you come in and you're like, okay, you want 13 tons of cargo? You go in, the moment you get scanned and you know you're getting scanned by a pirate, you go into your cargo hold. Now, this may sound weird. You may be like, well, I can sell the Alexandrite. Not as much as it's much better to drop 13 tons of Alexandrite rather than get blown up and lose, say you have 60, 70 tons of void opals. Better than to get blown up and lose those 70 tons of void opals. I always would sacrifice my Alexandrite over my void opals. Now, if you guys are in a fully engineered ship, if you guys are in a fully engineered Python and you're mining, or say even you're brave and you're mining an Anaconda, that, and you've got like fully engineered turrets and shit on it, that's okay, because then 90% of the pirates you're going to come across in most of these systems, you're going to kick their ass and they're going to fucking run. And you'll never see them again. Or your turrets will kill them and you'll never have to deal with that specific pirate again. Now, I'm willing to one lucky person who decides to say, hey, I need a good void opal mining spot. I am willing to share my void opal mining spot. And mine, I literally maybe, keyword maybe, see one pirate when I first come out here before I start mining. But here lately, I have not seen a single pirate out here. I have not ran into a single player out this way, guys. And I'm in open. I'll show you guys. My current game mode is, I don't even know how to look that up, but basically my current game mode I'm in is open. Yeah, I'm in open, guys, and I'm able to fly around this asteroid belt with 43 tons of void opals. So, I mean, I'm not just gonna show everyone my spot, because then all the void opal miners out there are gonna be like, ooh, good spot to mine void opals. And then this hotspot will never be, like, it'll never have void opals in it, and that's just because everybody will mine it constantly. So, one lucky person will actually get to know my hotspot. I will share my hotspot location with one lucky person, and that is it. Just one person. So, and I'm not gonna be like all the other YouTubers saying, oh, you have to subscribe to my channel and like this video, blah blah blah. I think that's stupid. If you want to subscribe, man. But if you don't have to. I'm not gonna force you to subscribe. Now this is definitely Void Opal asteroid, guys. So let's slow up. I'm gonna be pissed if this isn't, because I mean nothing is bright yellow. But let's throw out Prospector Limpet. And for those of you who don't know about deep core, yes, it is. Okay, so for those of you that don't know about deep core mining, all you need is a ship that has a good amount of cargo, decent jump range, depending on how far out you want to go. Refinery, not even a good one either, just like a 3 bin count. So all your mining is void opals and maybe Android, but abrasion blaster. You want abrasion blaster, seismic charge launcher, pulse wave analyzer, prospector limpets, and collector limpets. You don't have to do collector limpets, but it makes it so much easier to collect them. Anyways, guys, so now let's get to what this video is truly about. So what I typically start off with these fissures is I typically look for a high strength fissure to start off with. And people are like, well, why are you looking for a high strength fissure? And I'll tell you why I look for a high strength fissure to begin with. It's because, okay, let's do it this way. Oh, there we go. There's one. Okay, there's a high strength fissure. So what I do is I typically do one high strength fissure, one high, basically essentially one high yield. And notice how the asteroid isn't really rotating around, spinning and shit like that. Those are the kind of asteroids I love mining because it makes it so much easier. Now with your seismic charge launcher, don't use turreted, just because they'll only act as a turret if you've got an active gunner roll. If you have another player with you, that's the only way they will act as a turreted system. So just use fixed. They're significantly cheaper, especially once you get into the bigger ships. So basically what you want to do is you want to plant one high yield right in there. Okay, see that? And then you'll go over to an average fissure strength, average strength fissure. You can do, I mean, I suppose you can do two high yields and two high yield charges and one or two low yields. But this method that I use is like, I get like perfect every time. Okay, so there's that. And then you do either, whoop, you can either do two, I probably should went to another high yield, but anyways, so you can do two, so you do one high yield, two average, and one low. Or do, there's not two average, do, say there's one high strength fissure, one low average strength fissure, and the rest are low strength. Then what you do is you pop like one high yield charge and one low yield, one average yield charge, and then you want to do like another then like two or three, depending on how well you hit it, two or three low yields. See, now I really didn't want to spend the time trying to find a low strength fissure, so I just popped the low yield into an average. That will work too. But yeah, see, if you guys look up at my detonation yield, see how it's in the blue? That's where you want it every time. Oh, and also make sure before it detonates, make sure you put, if you're in a ship like an adder or something like that watching someone, make sure you put full pips to shields, otherwise he will be ripped in half. My friend found that out the hard way one day. But yeah, so basically, if you're in a bigger, even a medium ship like a Python, like I am, most that'll happen is a little bit of sensor disruption. And I've also found that you can actually, like if you are starting to be scanned by a pirate and you don't have time to run, what you can actually do is you go into the, you always want to make sure you're in the ice cloud, because you'll watch my heat go down. And it'll constantly stay there. That will allow you to run, like silent running, guys. Like you're able to run silent running. And I'll prove it. Like a lot of people say, oh, you can't run silent running constantly without heat sinks. Now, I will show you in my list of modules that I have no heat sinks. So yeah, see, no heat sinks. None whatsoever. So now watch. So I'm at 1% heat, right? Now normally when you run silent running, you heat up, right?
Shields offline. Silent running.
Normally by now I'd be in the 50 degrees, but
Thermal signature restored.
I'm gonna turn it back on just because I need my shields, because sometimes that's another thing you guys need to be aware of, is sometimes your collector limpets, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but if you don't have shields up, they will actually damage your hull. Which is something that, doesn't happen every time, but it's something that Frontier, I think, should look into and fix. Now, let's see, so that was a decent crack open, I'd say.
Programming limpet drone.
I need to put another collector limpet out there. One of mine must have expired or something. Which is not a big deal. But anyways, guys, yeah, so basically, with Void Opal mining, that's how you want to get like your perfect yield to get the most resources out of an asteroid. And also, guys, as you'll notice, I'll actually do this video up all the way up until the point where I sell. I may not be talking the whole time, but I'll do it all the way up until the point where I sell. Now, another way you can tell if your collector limpet expires, if you're not paying attention, say you set your controller down and you go get something to eat, right? And you come back and you're not sure if you have both collector limpets going. Another way to tell is you look at your collector limpet, your collector controller on the side there, whichever side you have it on, and you set it, and if it says 0 out of however many you have, it means that you have 2 active. Now, if it says 1 out of 41, that means if you have the 2 one, then that means you only have 1 limpet active, and you need to activate another one if you want to make it quicker. With this Void Opal mining, it makes it so much quicker to have 2 active rather than 1. And talk about a lot, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Talk about a lot of surface deposits, guys. The way I see it, that's at least another 9 tons, or at least another 8, 9 tons worth of Void Opals. At least 8 for sure.
Collector limpet expired.
See, sometimes that will happen. That's why I usually bring, guys, I bring about 60 collector limpets when I'm in my Python. I mean, that still leaves me 100 tons of cargo space. I mean, by the time I even get to my last, mining my last Void Opal asteroid, I'm usually almost out of collector limpets. So you kind of, as you're using them, renewing expired collector limpets, prospector limpets, as you're using them, you're freeing up cargo space. That's the system I kind of have designed, and I like. Everybody, I've got squadron members that say, well, I go out there with a full load of collector limpets, and I'm like, dude, why? I'm like, first off, you're kind of royally screwing yourself, because he's like, well, then I jettison what I don't need. I'm like, that's this extra cargo space that's used extra cargo space, which turns out to make your jump range go down. Which then what happens is when your jump range goes down, guess what? Instead of, for me, what I do is my mining ship, where I mine, my mining ship stays there. I put it at the station that's nearby. I don't ever take it back to where I have the rest of my ships. It stays where it is. It stays where I mine. And then I use my jump ship to go back and forth between the two systems. Between the systems where the rest of my ships are and where my mining ship is. Yeah, guys, I mean, it's Void Opal mining. Yeah, I mean, I will admit, it takes quite a bit of patience to Void Opal mine, but I will tell you this. It is highly profitable, guys, highly profitable. Let me show you something. So, let's go into my codex here, right? So, let's look at my commander, for example. Okay, so I have 263 million credits, right? Now my trading profit has been $835 million, almost $1 billion in trade profit. Highest single reward, 259,000 credits. That's okay. So that is like, so now to really kind of give you an idea. So I've spent $3 million on repairs. Yeah, credits spent on ships, 378 million. Credits spent on outfitting, 749 million. That was because I had to outfit my current assets. $982 million worth of ships. Yeah. Let's go to trading now. So, trading profit, as you saw, average profit, 11 million credits on average. Highest single transaction, 180 million. That was when I turned in like 105 tons of void opals. Commodities traded, market network 14. Means I've been to 14 different markets. But yeah, guys, I mean, it's definitely worth it. As I showed, it's definitely worth it. Trust me, guys. Like, you guys definitely want to get it. If you guys are looking to buy an Anaconda, or say you grinded Fed rank and want to get your Corvette real quick and get it upgraded, like you have your engineers and shit like that, but you're struggling to get money, right? You have all the mats you need to engineer it fully. You just don't have the money to buy the ship itself and outfit it. Well, that's where void opal mining comes in. I've literally mined enough to have bought my Corvette, or to have bought a Corvette and fully A-graded it for combat. Like, I've done wonders with this freaking void opal mining. I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, when it comes to buying my Corvette, I'm honestly gonna sell my Conda. Just because I love my Conda to death, but I haven't engineered it. I've only put money into A-grading it. So I'm going to sell my Conda when I go to get my Corvette. But that's still a ways away. I mean, guys, I'm only petty officer for federal rank, so that's still a ways away. I haven't really been putting a lot of effort into money into like getting reputation for the federal rank. I haven't really put a lot of effort into it. I was initially when I really first wanted to get the Corvette, but then I found out how much the fucker was going to cost me, and I'm like, I'll wait. Because at the time I didn't know about deep core mining until a friend of mine introduced it to me. He's like, dude, if you need money, don't wait for our mutual friend to get on. He has the high-end trade missions. He's like, dude, don't wait for our mutual friend to get on. Dude, he's like, go void opal mine. And I'm like, he's like, well, he told me just deep core mine in general. And when I was watching the video that he sent me, it was essentially about void opal mining. And I'm like, huh. And the guy's like, well, on average, if you go to the best sell location, on average, you can make about 1,688,000 and some odd credits per ton of void opals, guys. I mean, come on. It's a no-brainer. Like, come on, guys. It's seriously a no-brainer, you know? Like, it is definitely, and both my collector outfits expired, of course. So they're probably under my ship when I skimmed off that aspect. And also another thing to make sure of is always make sure that your limpets have enough room to come in and go up underneath your ship. Always make sure of that, because if you don't, what's going to happen is they're going to destroy themselves on an asteroid or whatever. But anyways, guys, so yeah, I'm almost done with this asteroid. So this is the fourth one, right? This is the fourth asteroid. And I'm almost at 60 tons of void opals. Just with this, I'm almost at 60 tons of void opals. Just in 4 asteroids. Now, in another about 3 probably, I'll have about 105 tons. Give or take. And I mean, I would say that's a pretty good amount, guys, to acquire. I mean, granted, you guys better be good at avoiding your addictions from, like, NPCs, because with carrying that much, you are gonna get interdicted a lot.
Collector limpet expired.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes what happens is collector limpet goes to pick up a piece of void opal and it'll expire trying to collect it, because I've had it to where those little void opal pieces will actually what they'll do is they'll actually get stuck in the asteroid. Like, they'll get so close to the asteroid that the collector of it can't actually pick them up. So what I do is I do this. Kind of use the nose of my ship to nose it away from the asteroid. Yeah, I mean, that's risky. Sure, you're probably going to damage your ship doing it, but in all actuality, it's worth it.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Now that was the last chunk, so
Limpet expired.
now back to searching for more void opal asteroids. Now, another technique I will teach you guys what I do, and this is how I usually find like 6 to 7 void opal asteroids. What I do is I will sit there and I will go to the very center of the hotspot. Now, obviously don't do this with hotspots that have other players in them, because all that you're going to find is you're going to find that other players have already mined to the center. But now, if you go to spots like mine where you hardly ever see anyone, what will happen is you go to the very center, or you go to about 900 kilometers from the center and go inwards. Whichever way you want to do it works either way. What you do is I prefer to start from the center, because then you usually find one right off the bat. But basically what you do is, see how I'm 312 kilometers away? What you'll basically do is you'll go from the center, pick a direction, and just fly that general direction. And by the time you hit about 900 kilometers, I usually find the loads I like to haul in before I even hit 900 kilometers. But basically, there has been a few times where I've gone the full 900 kilometers. But basically what will happen is, within that 900 kilometers, you will generally find, on a good day, you'll find 6 to 7 void opal asteroids. And if you get them optimal yield range, like every time, you'll end up with about 95 to 105 tons of void opals. 6 asteroids will get you about 95 tons if you're hitting optimal yield range on every asteroid. 7 will get you up to about 105. And that's, well, a bit more than that. I mean, 105 is like one of your small void opal asteroids. One of the ones that has like 10 resources in it. 10 tons worth of void opals. But one of your big ones, like the ones I've been mining, you'll end up with about 115, 116 tons. Give or take. Now, usually, if you go out with 50, 60 limpets, the problem is you could get more, yes. But the issue with that is you're usually out of limpets by then. So what I usually do is I sit there and if I want to mine more, like I'll show you on my thing here. I am like 1,000 light years away from the port where I land to like restock and shit like that. So I mean, if I wanted to, I could. Definitely, if I wanted to, I could, go refill on limpets, go get, like, if I have 100 tons of voidables, I could go get another 60 limpets and get about another probably another 60 tons of voidables before I'd actually have to go sell, because my cargo max at this point in time is 160 tons, which is a pretty good payout, mind you. I've never sold that much, but judging by just selling out like 100, I think it was 105 or something like that, I got 180 mil. So imagine 55 more tons, that's 55 more mil, give or take. Yeah, that's like 150, like 55 to 100 more, 100 mil worth of, so that's, instead of like 180 mil, it's 280 mil, give or take. I mean, I actually have to test it one of these days. But yeah, it's worth it, guys. Voidable mining, deep core mining in general is worth it. I mean, it pays pretty good. Even Alexandrite sells, I think, best sell price is like 700,000 per ton, which is still pretty good if you're not really wanting to do the high pressure, high value cargo, like the high value mining. But I mean, I definitely suggest it. Now, people always, I have people all the time that ask me, like, why do you why do you deep core mine out in the open? Like, aren't you worried about other players? I'm like, no. I don't get why people worry about players pirating them, because I have not came across a single player that has tried pirating me yet. Not a single player, guys. So really, I mean, griefers, yeah, sure. They used to be really bad back in, like, when this game first came out. When Elite Dangerous for the PS4 and shit first came out. Yeah, sure, there used to be a lot of griefers. But when squadrons started, like, basically, like, dealing with these guys, like, there'd be squadrons out there that would literally, like, grief the griefers, basically. And it was pretty cool. I mean, honestly, guys, the griefers kind of died out. Now, sure, if you're messing around with, say, an FSD interdictor and you interdict a player, there's one of two things that can happen. Either A, they will, when you pull them out, they will automatically attack you, or B, they will deploy hardpoints, not attack you, deploy hardpoints, lock onto you, and ask, why'd you pull them out of Super Cruise? But now, on the other hand, if they pull you out, don't always attack them right off the bat, because what they may be doing, there'll be times, I had this guy that was in a Mamba pull me out of Super Cruise, just to ask me, like, if I was a new player. I was like, somewhat, dude. I'm like, well, he's like, how are you? And I was in my Conda, granted. I let him pull me. I didn't have to let him pull me. I could have pulled him into the planet's gravitational pull, and that would have been the last. That would have been it. Like, you would have lost the interdiction. But so basically, what happened? He asked me, like, how are you in an Anaconda if you're a new player? Somewhat of a new player. I'm like, dude, deep core mining. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, dude, it's really profitable. Like, it's worth the profit. Like, honestly, it's worth it. Like, dude, deep core mine. You'll have, because he had been playing since the game first came out on PS4, and he didn't even have a condo. And I mean, I have to admit, he was pretty impressed by my condo. Like, he was impressed in the fact that how much hole it already had, how well it could handle in battle. He was pretty impressed that I had a fully A-graded condo within a few days of playing. And that's only because I I was like void opal mining like fucking crazy. But yeah, guys, so for all you guys that play Elite Dangerous, I'm in a squadron right now, but I mean, I might actually be leaving that squadron, might keyword, to create my own, just because, honestly, I don't like being bossed around. I don't like being told how to build my ships. I don't like being told, oh, you need to go do this, you need to go do that. It's like, I don't have to do anything. Like, the squadron I'm with, guys, don't get me wrong, they're a good squadron and all, but there's times where the leader is like, oh, you need to go do this, and I'm like, I don't need to do shit. I'm like, if you keep bossing me around, essentially, there is one thing I can do, and he asked me one day, he's like, and what would that be? I'm like, I could screw your BGS right now, completely. And he's like, how would you do that? I'm like, simple, do missions for the other faction. I could completely screw your BGS. Ever since then, he's left me alone. He has not bothered me about doing missions. Nothing. I mean, I get the fact that they're trying to expand, but one person out of 10 to 15 members that are commonly online not doing any missions is not gonna affect your BGS, dude. Like, but I mean, I just want to create my own squadron just because I don't like being, like I was saying, guys, I don't like being bossed around. I'm sure you guys wouldn't blame me, right? I mean, who honestly can say they love to be bossed around? Except for maybe your wife, who is your wife or girlfriend who, yeah, see? It's a core asteroid, but it's a low temperature diamonds asteroid. Now, there are times, sure, I will mine this, but I'm not actually going to take the time to. Just because, you know what, actually, no, because that takes up cargo space of my other potential void hole blasters. Now, see, that is something that you might every so often run into. Is it'll be a core mine asteroid. It might look like void opals, but because of how bright it is. But don't let that fool you. Sometimes it can pop up to end up being a low temperature diamond hotspot, or not hotspot, but low temperature diamond asteroid. You know, it's not always a void opal when it's bright yellow like that. Sometimes it is low temperature diamonds. Which, I mean, they sell, max sell price I've seen for them is about 1 million credits. Which is still pretty good. I mean, that's still an extra 15 mil for 15 tons, you know, but it's not as profitable as Void Opals. Void Opals, it sells for about 600,000 more. At most. Now, another key to when you go to sell is, say you're going to go sell, right? There is a website called inara.cz, and what it is you can go to commodities and find like best sell locations. Now what I usually do is I use Inara, go on there and look for best sell locations. Now what I'll do from there is I will look near the system I am mining. And I try to, usually since I have a lot, I usually try to find the closest possible location. I try to look for something that's like 29 light years away, with the station distance being 59 point some odd light seconds away from the star. That way I don't have to travel very far, That way, right when I drop in, I can get right to the station before anyone in the system can try to interdict me. Because, I mean, sure, you don't really see a lot of players that are out there pirating actively, but they are out there. There are the players out there that will just randomly come up to you. They'll be in like a fully engineered Corvette or something, and they'll demand cargo. And they can get away with demanding it, guys, because one simple fact. Say you're mining in a crate. Dude, they're in a Corvette, fully engineered. You're not going to take on or run from a fully engineered Corvette. I'm pretty sure.
Prospect limpet engaged.
Now, honestly, I'm probably just only going to go at 80 tons just because I'm not really looking to make a whole lot of cash today, considering I'm still at like 200 some odd mil. And I'm kind of getting bored of opal mining.
Scan complete.
Like, I kind of want to get to grinding some more Fed rank, but I'll definitely, like I said, guys, I'm going to do this video up until I sell. I'll end the video once I sell. But you'll see how much money I get. Because I've only been void opal mining for the money. And for the trade rank. Because once I'm honestly get my trade rank up to elite, I'm going to buy, I might buy like a Type 9 or something, and completely outfit it for cargo, and just run cargo missions all day long. Or what I might do is I might take my Type 9 Heavy, go out to Acellus Primus, and simply run run trade missions from out that way, from Beagle to Landing, and like invite like random new players to my wing and get them 50-60 mil a freaking trade mission, you know, get them 50-60 mil for a trade mission, get them 20-30 mil, you know. And so, guys, to be honest with you guys, if you guys play Elite Dangerous, you guys should definitely hop on. Should definitely, if you're like strapped for credits and shit like that, dude, void opal mine. It is one of the most profitable sources of credits. Like, and it's a lot of people say, oh, well, do all these exploits. No, because you know what can happen when you do exploits? Frontier finds out, oh, well, this person's been exploiting. Guess what they do? They come in, la-di-da-da, and they're like, well, since you've been, like, disobeying our TOS, Terms of Service, then guess what we're going to do? We're going to wipe your account clean. Then, kaboom, guess what? Your shit is wiped clean. You have to start all over. All that progress you've made, or they might just ban you outright, prevent you from playing the game at all on that profile. Then you have to start off on a new profile, or what they might even do, they might even go as far as contacting PlayStation and getting permission to ban your IP address, to where, guess what? No matter what account you get on, you can't play it. So at that point, you might as well either get rid of the game, or get a whole new PS4. And I mean, be real, guys. Who would, unless you're rich as fuck and don't care, who in their right mind would go out and just buy a new PS4 for that reason? I mean, sure, I've met people that have done it, but who in their right mind would do that, you know? I mean, come on, guys. Okay, so obviously, guys, maybe you're not having as much luck as I normally do. If I get to let's say 600 kilometers, and I still don't find our Void Opal asteroid, then I might just actually go sell now. It all depends though. I mean, I might come across near core asteroid, who knows? Or two. Let's just find out.
Programming input drone.
Oh, and sometimes, guys, be aware that sometimes you will see like bright yellow on like edges of asteroids. Like, say that, like that asteroid, for example, it was kind of tucked away behind another asteroid. Don't always go right up, get within range of your prospector drone at it, just because it may not always be Void Opal asteroid, like a core asteroid. It might be bright yellow on the edge and then be orangish yellow in the middle, you know, throughout the rest of the asteroid. Now this one is definitely core asteroid, and it's most likely Void Opals. I mean, that's mostly what's out here, is either Alexandrite or Void Opals. But how bright the yellow that one is, and the shape of it, and the amount of black in that fucker, yeah, that thing's Void Opal for sure. So it looks like I found one more, maybe two more within. Two more would be nice, because I'd get about 15, 20 tons per asteroid, give or take.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Oh no, that's Granditerite. That's another element that you'll run into out here, guys. So always be aware that's another potential element or material you can run into out here is Granditerite. And out of the three, Alexandrite, Granditerite, and Void Opals, they sell for the least. So those, the Granditerite, I'll mine them if I'm worried about pirates, especially. Like if I don't find any Alexandrite and I find that, I'll mine those just because, hey, that's, to me, to a Void Opal miner, Granditerite is a throwaway mineral. It's a throwaway. Like, you give it to pirates to keep them pleased. Like, to keep them from attacking you. But yeah, anytime I get anytime I'm in area that has a lot of pirates, and also guys, never, even if you find a bomb-ass freaking Void Opal mining hotspot, never mine in an anarchy system. Because, just so you guys know, even if you have crimes reported against me in an anarchy system, and I'm sure all of these all these guys that play Elite Dangerous proficiently know this already, but your anarchy system, guys, nothing is illegal. Like, you can do anything you want. Nothing is illegal in an anarchy system. So always be aware of that nothing is illegal in an anarchy system. Now, see, that's kind of nice. 20 kilometers away, there's another potential Void Opal asteroid. And always lock onto your limpet, because then you can actually... Oh, no. It'll tell you exactly what's in the asteroid. So it's looking like, guys, like I might have to go south. And just so you guys know, sell points, like best sell points, are always updating. Like they update every 24 hours, I think. So there may be times where, oh, well, I found a really close sell point. Next day, oh, that's no longer a best sell point. So don't always go to the same sell point. I thought I could do that when I first started off. Nope. Now, the reason, this may sound foolish, but the reason I suggest for just starting players, the reason I suggest to do it in a Crate Mark II, it may sound, I know the ship itself is expensive and all that, but it, of all good mining ships, the Crate Mark II has the, out of all the mining ships you can use for deep core mining, the Crate Mark II, besides an ASP, well, second best. Okay, so the ASP is like your best bet. It's capable of deep core mining. It's a small ship, so you can land virtually anywhere. And it also, you have like the biggest jump range. But without engineers, the Crate Mark II hands down is better than the ASP without engineers. And that's because it standardly has a really good jump range. Now, if you if you don't care about the fighter bay, get a Crate Phantom, dude. Crate Phantom, unengineered, has the best jump range for mining ships. But engineered, dude, ASP, hands down. Hands down, ASP. 4 hard points, that's enough hard points for your abrasion blaster, your seismic charge launcher. It's enough for all that. But yeah, definitely, guys, like, oop, this might be one, and if this isn't one, I doubt I'm gonna find another one within 20 kilometers. So let's hope this is another one, huh, guys? So I can maximize profits, kind of show you guys. I might go a bit farther if this. I'm gonna go out to 600 kilometers, maybe 650. Yep, this one's Void Opals, okay. Cool. So basically, essentially, guys, like, just always know that the best fish, okay, so there's a bunch of low strength fissures on the bottom here. There's your high strength. Always start off with like 1 high strength fissure, guys. And then do like maybe 2 oh shit. And don't do what I did, obviously.
Detonation sequence initiated.
And then try to find a average one. So let's go contacts here. Low strength, high strength, low strength, average strength. There we go. And also another thing to bear in mind with this, guys, is you have to be relatively quick with this. Like, you can't take your sweet time to get these charges in. Otherwise, what will happen is you'll mess it up, because then you don't, it makes it harder. Let's just say it makes it harder to get your, okay, there's another one. There's another average strength. There we go. So 2 average strengths, like I said, is usually the best if you can, or 3 low strength. And remember, then just kind of pop the trigger, like tap it. Don't actually hold it down, because sometimes even low strength fissures can throw your yield rate over what you need. See? And that's optimal yield range, gentlemen. Again, I mean, not as perfect as I got it last time, but hey, better than nothing, right? Now, you can detonate early, but usually by the time I get mine in, I usually only have about 15 seconds left on the timer anyway, so then I use that time to put full pips to shields, back up a little bit,
Detonation in 10 seconds.
and then I usually make sure I'm on my collector limpets. Then before I pop out collector limpets and deploy my cargo scoop, I kind of let the chunks of asteroids kind of float, separate out. And before I actually start, I usually go in and count how many resource chunks got blown loose. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So that's decent asteroid. And then it's got, let's see how many surface deposits. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 surface deposits. That means it's got about 20 potential research. It's got 20 research chunks, which usually calculates down to about 16, 17 tons worth of void opals. Usually.
Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
Now that they've actually spread out a bit, I usually fly right into... And that's just so my collector limpets can get all the void opal resource, the free chunks that are within range. And always, like I said, guys, always use your free camera, kind of look down, just make sure there's no asteroids below you. They're within, because with the, as you can see with the, I'll show you, what they do is they kind of start from way down there and they go up into your cargo to drop it off. See, oh boy, hold on guys. Yo, what's up? I've been dealing with the stupid, with my landlord trying to get my roommate out, but, he said it's soon, well it is, it's just he said he has to wait for the partial government shutdown to be done. Yeah. Oh, I know. But, that's just what he told me, but I mean, I'm working on it slowly but surely. Right. Right. That, and my wife has been sick and shit, so I've been dealing with that and shit. Uh, uh, she's not even here right now. She went out to go do her taxes. I already did my taxes. Yeah, I'm just, yeah. Yeah. All I did was I used my phone and H&R Blocks app and took snapshots of my W-2s and shit, and yeah. Yep. And then they H&R Block, it's H&R tax prep. H&R Block tax prep. Uh I mean, they're going to regard H&R Blocks tries. They have a motto of getting you like the most. Well, yeah, I could have, but the person I usually go through to do it for free wasn't in town, so it was either go through. Right. I mean, And plus, they they kind of. I'm sure you know enough about taxes, but I mean, so. But for people like me that don't know a whole lot about doing taxes, they guide you through every step. What I usually do is I just silence my phone. What is in high demand right now because I'm out void opal mining, so if I have to, I'll bring void opals in there. Which I've got about uh 70 tons right now. Okay, well yeah, that's fine. So I'll grab I'll try to get an extra 9 to put there. Mm-hmm.
Collector limpet expired.
Yeah. I get you, yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
Programming limpet drone.
Oops. Wrong one. Yeah,
Programming limpet drone.
I'm literally 5. Oh yeah, I've been coming across. I haven't really come across a lot of Bromolite today, but
Programming
I'll
limpet
keep an eye
drone.
out for it if I see it. If I see it, I'll mine it. Hmm. But yeah, friggin', I'm 5% away from being elite in trade. 5%. I was so mad when I dropped off before I had to get off yesterday, I dropped off my, cargo hold of void opals, and I was hoping they would put me up to 100% so I could go over elite. And I look at my thing and it says 95%. I'm like, are you serious? Oh, I was so mad. I don't really do data courier just because, I mean, I I get void opals trading deep, like my mining stuff gets me. I've gotten that faster than data couriers could do. Yeah. That, right. Yeah, definitely. Be losing. Right.
Right. Right. Definitely. Right. Right. Hmm. Right. Oh, did you know? I don't know if you noticed, but I was looking in the squadrons page, and I noticed there's one pending application. Oh, okay, nice.
Collector limpet expired. Cargo scoop retracted.
Well, the only reason I've been mining when I actually have time is just to build back up, like, from how much I dropped because of A-grading my Conda. Which I've almost built it back up already. This will build it back up, and then I should be good. I won't have to mine for probably a couple weeks. Right. Right.
Programming limpet drone. Prospector
Nice.
limpet engaged.
So this is the 7th Voidal blaster I've came across
Asteroid
so far.
scan complete.
Oh, I know. I'm getting an extra 9 just so I have my normal sell amount that I normally sell for the money, and then I have an extra 9 to sell at Babcock. And I've almost perfected deep core mining to get in the optimal yield range every time. Oh, nice. Nice, man. Aha. Chip.
Collector limpet expired.
There we go. Sometimes that kind of stuff gets sent to like your spam folder and shit. Oh,
Detonation in 10 seconds.